Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of our newest playthrough here on Grand Tactician: The Civil War. This is the 1863 Confederate campaign, and we are just getting started. We lost a battle that will probably cost us Richmond in the last episode, but that's only because we are in the process of trying to get our units recruited. And in the process, just got so heavily outnumbered that even though we were inflicting 2-to-1 casualties on the Army of the Potomac, we just couldn't hold. I've queued up another 10 brigades from among our patron units, so we should see those starting to arrive soon enough. You can see how many units that are currently recruited are not yet part of the Army. And so that's a big part of our problem and why we just need some time to regroup. And that's just the Army of Northern Virginia. We have the same issues in other armies as well. We've got 2 entire divisions in the Trans-Mississippi Department we're waiting on. Let's see what else. We've got 3 entire divisions right now we're waiting on in the Army of Tennessee. So this is all stuff that we're just going to have to hang on for dear life. I would imagine we're going to see combat pretty quickly in Tennessee. And also in Mississippi and Grant's Vicksburg campaign. In fact, I expect that right away we're going to see some combat right here in Jackson. Probably with the Department of the West. There it is. Actually, we've got, what is this? Cavalry Division of the Army of Northern Virginia. So this is Jeb Stuart in contact with John Dix's cavalry. It's a pretty small engagement, but we're going to fight it. All right, this is a cavalry battle. The Battle of Chesapeake Bay, we're fighting it on the Cold Harbor, Mechanicsville, Gaines Mill battlefield. So we're going to just try to grab some objectives here. It looks like the Union's down in the south, and we're going to come at them from the north. So we're going to gobble up some objectives and then turn ourselves in his direction. I'm going to set my guns up right here at this crossroads in case he comes up this way. Oh, he's all the way over here, too. So we may be better off just kind of sticking right where we're at and waiting on him. All right, so I sent some scouts ahead of my main units, and it looks like I found him right here. And I'm guessing that's everything he's got. So let's go ahead and start moving Stuart and all his men down this direction. We're going to see if we can engage these guys. I can probably park my artillery somewhere up here on this hill and maybe hit him from there. It's going to take a little bit of time for those orders to go out. But I think, yeah, we're going to try to put our artillery right up here on this hill. See if that does the trick. Maybe we can draw him out. If not, we'll go ahead and cross. All right, Beckham's artillery opened up on the Union, so now they're actually falling back so they can get out of range of my artillery. We're going to go ahead and bring our cav across. We've got 2 divisions. One division's only got 1 brigade in it right now. Yep, he's pulling everybody back. So we'll go ahead and bring Beckham's artillery across too. Get him into a closer position. See if we can continue to... Oh man, he's really falling back. So this is going to become a pursuit. We'll see at some point we'll get him to stand up and fight. I just don't know where it'll be. So now he's moving. As we get into position up here, and I've got my guns going, he's starting to come up this road. His guns were going by another road, so I think he's probably headed for Mechanicsville for that objective, which is actually where I just ordered one of my brigades to head. So let's go ahead and bring Culpepper's division up to right here. Chambliss's brigade was given orders to head to that objective point, but they're not going to quite get there. And that's actually just his skirmishers there. But it looks like they're going to probably engage first. Having a hard time getting Chambliss selected here because he's merged in with everybody else. There, that's why it's called something different. Okay, so we're going to be engaging right here. So it looks like it's going to be our scouts first. So now we're going to have to try to kind of reissue our orders here. While Chambliss's scouts get involved, let's go ahead and send Lee's detachment up. Our guns aren't really going to be all that effective from right here. Let's see if we can get them up somewhere a little better. Maybe up here. Alright, just do your thing, Chambliss, while we bring up more. We've got them outnumbered, so it's just a matter of getting our men into position and using the numbers. It's a small battle, but it matters because we're right outside of Richmond. And any of his units we can drive off, even temporarily, is going to be helpful. Alright, let's speed up a little bit while we get these guys into position. I'm going to pull my scouts back. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Definitely not what I meant to do. Alright, we'll get our guns back into position. Let's dismount. Get into range. We got Jocelyn carbines here, Enfield musketoons. We're going to be right up into the face of that artillery. That's the only thing I don't like. How about we bring these 12-pounders right up to the line, maybe get some canister fire going. These are all experienced units. How are things going so far? Pretty even. We have twice as many guns as he does. Oh yeah, open up on those guys. And this is the whole battle right here. You can see the balls flying in on his cab artillery. Oh man, devastating fire on his artillery. And now we get to fire in on his flank. It's nice when you got 27 guns of horse artillery right there. How we doing? 140. It's less than 10%. Less than 10% here. About 5%, well, 7% or so there. Yeah, that should be an easy win for us. Just a matter of hanging on. Yeah, looking real good. He lost his whole battery. How about we bring up the guns again? Maybe small in the grand scheme of things in terms of the numbers involved, but a much needed morale boost for our men in Eastern Virginia. Maybe we should pursue. Mount up, Culpepper. Go after him. We'll see what we can do here. He'll probably issue his retreat order pretty soon. These guys may recover, though, so we'll see. They're going through the swamp right now. Now Lee's trying to pursue, but King's getting away pretty fast. Okay, we lost 518 men. Took out 1,800 of his in that victory. That's a big one for us, Battle of Chesapeake Bay. That'll earn some much-needed fame for Jeb Stuart and for his generals. And we'll see how that all kind of shakes out around Virginia, because we're going to have some Confederate units retreating, and now we're going to have at least one Union unit retreating. So that was actually up here on the peninsula, where Jeb Stuart's cavalry division was holding the line against the 7th Corps. So that doesn't necessarily change the situation outright outside of Richmond a whole lot, but we really can't control. Looks like Army of Northern Virginia is actually going to escape over here toward the west, toward Charlottesville. So that doesn't help us hold Richmond very well, but that's okay. Okay, so this is the battle I expected we would be fighting between Grant and Johnston. It's the battles for Vicksburg, but here's the good news. The one bit of good news in our battle with 33,000 men versus 74,000. The Army of Tennessee will not be arriving for quite some time. So for the time, but neither is our Vicksburg garrison. So we've got 8,000 men against 24,000 and 78 guns. We're going to get the Army of Mississippi in 9 hours. That will basically even the numbers out after 9 hours. But we're going to have to dig in. This is not going to be easy. Well, as I expected, we're going to get to experience the Champion Hill battlefield for the first time. This is probably, I would guess, the most unknown significant battle of the Civil War. Not very many people study this one in great detail, but honestly, this is one of the most decisive battles in the history of American warfare, the Battle of Champion Hill. It was the battle that sealed the fate of Vicksburg, even though Vicksburg held out for another month or so. It was a foregone conclusion once this battle was fought and they were sealed up inside the city. So we're going to only have about 8,000, 9,000 men or so to start. We're going to have to dig in somewhere. We're going to try to get over and dig in at Champions Hill, but I don't think we're going to make it there because the Union's already up this far. Since my reinforcements are coming in... Oh boy, what's this over here? Since my reinforcements are going to come in from right here, this is where we're going to need to dig in. So probably at Bolton Station. Let's look at the ground. The road's up here, so I would imagine this is where we're going to see him come from. So we're going to have to find a spot to dig in. It's all pretty flat over here. Yeah, probably right here. Okay, so we've got parapets. We're about as fortified as we can possibly get. We're just going to wait for him to come at us now and assume that that's going to happen down this road. We've got 9 hours. The good news is it's early in the morning, so we will have our reinforcements around 3 in the afternoon, and we should have a good 24 hours or so after that to defeat the Union before his reinforcements arrive. Now, if we don't make contact with the enemy by the time my reinforcements arrive, we'll probably have to go on the attack so we can drive him off before he gets those massive 40,000 or 50,000 reinforcements. All right, I think this seems to be working. He's made his way. We can see these objectives turning, and this one here just turned, which means he should be coming down this road. We should start spotting him once he comes down the Clinton Road, unless he decides to turn this way. I may go ahead and send out some skirmishers just so we can see a little bit further. I want to be able to see up on that road as he's coming down. Now, the way it told us the reinforcements were happening at the beginning is not very accurate, because look at this. 10 hours the 17th Corps arrives, 18 hours for the 15th Corps. That is way sooner than we were told it was going to happen. So we're not going to have nearly as much time as we thought. Only about 5 hours between when our reinforcements arrive and when his do. So we're going to have about 5 hours to defeat the Union. The good news is he's coming in right to where we're going to get our reinforcements. So even if he does get his reinforcements, they're going to be way back here. And I think this first day's fight, we should be okay. So let's go ahead and pull our skirmishers back in. He's definitely coming down the road toward us. We're going to have to hang on for a couple hours against probably pretty strong numbers while we wait for him, for the rest of our men to arrive. Come on, Burbridge, turn down this way. He might go for that objective first. I'm hoping now that he's spotted us. Here he comes. Excellent. So one brigade at a time coming down at our parapets. This is really pretty perfect. So we have Walker's brigade here. They have reboard muskets. Oh, we got to get better weapons for these guys, because we've got available weapons. Adams here. We got Greg's brigade over here. And we open up. Awesome. We're going to tear these guys up. It's just skirmishers, though. Got to be careful about ammunition. That does concern me a little bit. Alright, we just got to hang on. I'm hoping there are reinforcements coming on this side and we could slam right into his flank while we're holding him here. Only 10 guns. They're parrots, though. Oh, look at all that artillery coming in. Man, that's going to be rough. That'll be the one thing that helps him equalize the fact that I'm in parapets. Although these guys really aren't. He's going to try to get out on my flanks too, which is smart. Oh boy. This is about to get interesting. I'm probably going to have to shift Greg over here because he's trying to get around my flank. I should have extended those parapets a little more. How long do we have? 4 hours? Ugh. It's a long time. Do some counter battery fire here. These are 10-pounder parrots. They ought to be able to be decently effective. Now, these guys are winded. You can see they're kind of exhausted. They've been marching all the way across this battlefield, and that's what all of his units are going to have to do. Good. I hope he gets into a battle line right here and holds, and then our reinforcements show up right here. They may show up back here somewhere, though. But if they show up over here, that might be really helpful. There's nowhere else they could come in, is there? No. It's got to be over here. His artillery is shelling Greg's brigade, so I'm having them lay down, hoping that'll help while that's going on. At least till we see him attack. Let's do the same with Adams. Even though they're in fortifications, we're going to have everybody lay down. Just hang on, boys. How long do we have now? We've got 3 hours. Oh, boy. Well, I was hoping we would be able to hang on until my reinforcements arrive, but they're still 2 hours out, and his assault is beginning. So everybody's got to stand up. Unfortunately, I have no fortifications on this left side. So we're going to have to hope that Greg can hold on despite what's going to be an ugly situation there. And hopefully he doesn't break us before the reinforcements arrive. Let's see the ETA on them. Still says 2 hours. Goodness, poor Greg. He's got a whole division coming down on him. Plus artillery firing. Alright, let's switch these guys over to fire at will. Need that artillery support to hit these guys that are coming in. Alright, how we doing here? So far, so good. Mostly concerned about Greg. You can see he's losing more men than any of the others. Still saying 2 hours. Ugh. We're inflicting 2-to-1 casualties, but that's not going to be enough if he pushes. Oh, Greg. And look at him getting around on my flank over here, too. He's using the fact that he's got the numbers to his advantage. Stretching out on my flanks, and there ain't a thing I can do about it. Here we go. Let's get some skirmishers out. Turn the main body over this way. I don't know how long they're going to last. 328 lost now. Oh boy. What a mess. Come on, where are we at? Where are we at, guys? I don't know if it's going to be in time. I'm going to hold the center. It's the flanks that he's getting me on. As I've said before, the AI does really well when he's got the numbers. When he's got the numerical advantage, he usually acts pretty smartly. He goes for your flanks. He does what a good commander should do, especially when they're under Grant like these guys are. When he's outnumbered or when things are even, it's sometimes a different story. Oh, the detachment just fell back. Darn it. This is all kinds of a mess over here. Alright, here's the good news. His center fell back. Let's move Adams over. Oh, these casualties are mounting, though. Let's see how we're looking now. Yeah, they're pretty even, which is not good news for me. Need those reinforcements. So Greg broke and ran for the rear. So I've pulled Adams back, and we've got basically this three-sided defensive formation. And now we just lost Walker. Oh, that was not at all helpful. I don't know that the other two are going to hang on. We're sitting at a major defeat now. We may not last until the reinforcements arrive. We did drive Burbridge back. And they're going to arrive at any moment now, but it may be too late. It says 0 hours. We're just watching for them to arrive. I'm hoping it'll push this number back. It may not. I feel like this is something that's going to go on the next Sabaton Last Stand album. We held on. I believe our reinforcements are starting to arrive. Pemberton has arrived with the Army of Mississippi reinforcements. The question is, where are they? Oh, they're coming in from over here. Didn't need that. I needed them over here. Now I wish I had gone for Champion Hill. The good news is it pushed it from a major defeat back to indecisive. But now we need Pemberton to race in that direction. Alright, Pemberton, get them all down here now. As quick as we can. Well, the final brigade was States' Rights Gist. He was holding all by himself. He was just killed in action. We're already at major defeat, and we haven't even re-engaged the enemy. So unfortunately, I think what the best thing to do here is to retreat. We may lose Vicksburg to the enemy, but again, this is a situation where we are desperately waiting for reinforcements to arrive in our units so that we can counterattack and retake the ground that we're losing in the early stage of this campaign. So casualties pretty even, but pretty even ain't going to cut it for us right now. We're going to lose Vicksburg. We're going to lose most of Mississippi. I may need to try and pull these armies out and get them over toward Alabama somewhere where we can kind of hold, concentrate our forces, and wait for reinforcements to arrive. Here's another opportunity on a smaller scale to win ourselves a victory, and I think we'll probably wrap up with this battle here. It looks like our Confederate troops that got defeated in Jackson are all going to fall back to Vicksburg. So that's the good news, is that if we can sit there and still hold Vicksburg while reinforcements pour into our armies, we may be okay. So we're going to be taking on David Hunter with PGT Beauregard in the Department of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Another small battle, but a battle that could have significant consequences. And this is actually taking place on the same day as that battle at Jackson did. Okay, it looks like the Union's right here on Honey Hill. This is the Battle of South Carolina. And we got a lot of swampy regions here, but we're going to go right at him. Just going to move Beauregard's full force right up here, and then we'll kind of deploy as we see what happens. I'm expecting he'll come down this road or this road here, so we should end up running into him somewhere here near the swamp. Run up and try to grab Wood Road here. Now you're noticing you're not going to see too many of the patron units early on because most of them are still being recruited and most of them are in the major armies. Alright, here he comes. We're going to run right into these skirmishers. Looks like we're going to have the numbers to begin. We'll let the cav go out on the flank there. Alright, let's get everybody into position. He's going to do the same. Pretty even numbers here, so it's just going to be about who outshoots the other. Or who outmaneuvers the other. Drove back the skirmishers. Let's see if we can get our cav firing on his flank here. Enfields, Enfields, Enfields. So we've got decent weapons. Alright, Beauregard, do your thing here, guys. Federal morale's 51, ours is 70. Losses are pretty even so far, at least in terms of percentage. We've actually got a slight advantage in numbers. Get these guys somewhere where they can fire. Let's move them back over here, get some clearing. I'm going to push up in my center so we can get into range. This is just skirmishers here. Let's go ahead and mount up and hit these skirmishers. And then start pushing forward. So now he's going to turn all his men on my cav, which is fine. If he turns his facing that way, then I hit his flank. We're still waiting on the guns to get in position. Come on, Ripley, get moving. Things are moving in our direction. Mostly because we're inflicting a higher percentage of casualties than we're taking. Now we got our guns firing. Alright, I think this is going pretty good. Minor victory for a second there, then it went back indecisive. We'll take the objective. That'll help. Alright, Beauregard, do your thing. Win this. We need these victories right now. Ripley's a little slow in getting his men moving compared to the other brigades. Kind of annoying. Not particularly helpful. Shift over. Nice. We're not losing that many men, honestly. I mean, well, Haygood has. Ripley hasn't, but that's mostly because he's been slow and engaging. But Walker hasn't either. Push him back, boys. There we go. Drive the Yankees out of South Carolina. Lovely. That was a much-needed victory. We'll let them fall back through the swamps. Alright, real nice victory. We took out about a third, almost a third of his men. And he's deep south without a lot of support. So let's take a look at that situation there in South Carolina and where those men are. They're probably going to have to load up by sea to get out of there if they need to retreat. Our military experience rises by almost a whole point. We dropped his morale by 0.8. That's pretty significant. I mean, that was more significant than what we saw happen with some of the other battles. So this has got a long, long way to go. I mean, we still have about 30 brigades to recruit for our patron units. This is going to be a long battle, a long war. I expect this one to go well into 1864 at the very earliest. even before we can really start turning the tide. But it is a good challenge to start in 1863 because you do start at such a disadvantage at the beginning. So I think that's very helpful in giving you a much more difficult experience. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. Here we go. This is the 10th Corps that we defeated. You can see here he does have Fort Walker, which might not be a bad idea for us to move on at some point. He's going to be at 14,000 men when he's fully reinforced. I want to look at that situation there. I'm not entirely sure why he doesn't have that many now. I guess that's just the full reinforcement complement when everybody's back up to full strength. So here's the situation. He's got me by almost 200,000 men. You can see what a disadvantage we're at, but we've got so many units that are in the queue to be recruited, so that's going to make a big difference. Not a lot happened in that one of any significance, but we've got a long way to go in this campaign. We're going to come back every other day as often as possible and continue to play this. Hit that like button if you would. We'll see you again in a couple of days. Thanks for watching.